Hey, world. It's being willing to come back to another video. In fact, I want to come back to this video because I want to share some information with you so you can stay enlightened, stay aware, and stay conscious, and to be absolutely certain that these times that we're living in, those that are making decisions right now for the majority of the people really don't have the people's best interests at heart. And let's look at this for a minute. Fam, you know I always do segments about real news, fake news, the real actors and the fake actors. Last night they said they just come up, signed or agreed with a new stimulus package, right? Now mind you, I can care less about the politics of this nation because politics is basically an institution created to keep a small group of people in power and have this small group of people trick the masses into thinking that their intentions are for the best or for the greater good of the community or greater good of the nation. We all know that's not true. I mean, just go back, have any type of historical consciousness, you know this country wasn't built on that. I mean, to this day, guys, they still have in North Dakota, South Dakota, statue monuments called Mount Rushmore with the heads of ex-slave owners on there. You still have high schools and middle schools and universities named after these same individuals that were quote-unquote slave owners. And so what kind of nation do you live in where it's basically under the guise of a Christian nation, right? A God-fearing nation? But what God is it that they actually fear? It can't be the Most High. Because in a Christian nation, how can you have in a Christian nation abortions, the death penalty? How can you have that in a Christian nation? How can you have in a Christian nation, religious ministers or religious so-called leaders that are bastardizing the Bible and not informing those that are following them that there are 66 other books in the Bible, that there is so much other literature in the Bible, or, in Father's biblical scriptures. And I don't like to use the word scriptures because when you say scriptures, you're basically saying something that's been scripted, like this community we live in, like this society we live in. Think about this, family. In a Christian nation, it's also a capitalistic nation. That's an oxymoron. How can you have capitalism in a Christian nation? Because remember, capitalism is, dog eat dog world. I mean, think about that. If you don't pay yourself first, then you basically a slave. Because what's a slave? Someone that has to work in order to survive, in order to eat. And so anytime you're living in a nation like that, that's not a nation that understands the true teachings and the true understanding of the Most High in reference to, looking out for others. I mean, it's right there. I mean, even in the King James Version, man, there's so many different particular verses, particular chapters in there that speaks on this, right? And so just to, reiterate on, talk about what I was talking about earlier about politics, family. They just passed the new stimulus package bill. And in that stimulus package bill, they're going to allow us to get $600 stimulus check. They're going to send $600 stimulus checks to those making $76,000 or less. Okay? And that's it. Now, they are going to extend the $300 unemployment benefit, I think, to 11 weeks, right? And they also going to designate $25 billion for rental assistance. Now, what does that mean? Why do you guys have to, designate who gets to stay in their home and who don't, especially when everybody's paying taxes? $600 for everyone that make under $76,000 a year. $25 billion in rental assistance. What does that mean? If you're not basically, dispersing thousands of dollars out to individuals who's about to lose their home, who've lost their home, then who is that $25 billion going to? All right. And you look at the vaccinations, family. $4 billion they paying in this package to go overseas to poison others with this vaccine. All right. Another $30-40 billion to the schools, universities, and colleges when we're not even in school. Huh? So you have all this money, this almost $1 trillion, again, a package, stimulus package, but it's not going to stimulate your wealth. It's not going to stimulate your health. And it's definitely not going to stimulate your consciousness, because when a majority of all of it is going to corporations, you know, where's your love? And so believe me, family, politics, are you serious? They even talking about defunding the police, right? And they've done that. I'm in H-Town. I don't see a lot of police cars in rotation, especially HPD, you know. But guess what? The crime hasn't went up. There hasn't been this drastic rise in crime because we're not animals. See, the whole nation of a police state is to control a certain group of people, not to protect and serve. I mean, you know, this defunding of the police department has shown that. And even though they may want to say, oh, you know, defunding the police is going to cause a lot more, you know, harm to the citizens. No, it ain't. When you look at the harm that police has caused, let's keep it 1,000, right? And so when you look at your current situation, and my heart goes out to a lot of people out there that's struggling right now because it's tough out here. And the one thing they're only focusing on is coronavirus. Family, what? Last night, 317,000 people allegedly have died of coronavirus, right? It's 331 million people in the United States. That's like 0.0009% of the population. And don't sleep. Just yesterday, they just said that England just, you know, just found out they have a new strand of coronavirus. So a strand of coronavirus that makes it more, you know, transferable, easy to transmit. I guess it makes sense why they're painting the skies right now. Because if you go outside right now, family, they got it striped up with the chemtrails. All right? So if I just want to come back with a little food for thought, you know, let you know, of course, you know, if you're waiting on the stimulus check, it's going to be only $600. So look at this. In a whole year, during a pandemic, with 45 plus million people losing their jobs, millions of people losing their homes, apartments, you know, hundreds of thousands of businesses, you know, having to shut down. The government did this for what? Less than 1% of the population. Numbers don't lie, family. Put that in your calculator and you'll see what I'm talking about. Because you got to see things, not just with your eyes, but with this one too. You did? So, like I say, family, pay yourself first. Okay? Keep the Most High inside of you strong. Because with that, things can't change. All right? And with that being said, family, being Willie's out of 5,000.